Hello. So this weekend I went to my grandpa's place. They had like a family invite thing where they had a summer camp theme, and so a lot of families were there, and he wanted to show off his family. But I was the only one that was able to make it. So we go and we sit down next to this family who happens to be from Redlands. And we're like, wow, what do you know? I actually graduated from Redlands, and so did my grandpa. And they're like, no way. Yeah, and so did my parents and my brother and some uncles. And then, there's a guy there, he's probably in his early 20s. He's like, I graduated from Redlands in 2002 or something like that. And I was like, no way. Oh, wow, that's cool, because it's not a big school. And started talking a little bit, and then they're like, were you in a fraternity? And I was like, yeah, I was one of the people that helped start a fraternity there. And he looks at me and he gives this look and he goes, what's your last name? Turns out he and I are brothers, which is a total trip because it's been a while since I really thought of myself as a frat guy. Wait a minute. Don't call fraternity a frat. Would you call your country a cunt? Good point, frat guy. Anyway, it was very interesting. This guy suddenly started looking at me very strange and kind of awkward and stuff because I forgot that, in a fraternity, you have to learn, like, the fraternity's history, and you learn about the founding fathers, and, we have pictures up on the wall. Of course, at the time, I had long, crazy, curly hair. I can only imagine, what the history has said about, the crazy kids who were there before us. Anyway, I was like, well, maybe I should make him do some push-ups or something like that. It was really embarrassing when I forgot the secret handshake. I think I get some leeway, though, because of my street cred from the frat. It was pretty fun. And then, Grandpa and this kid and me, we all sang the Redlands fight song together, and Grandpa was having a real kick-in-the-pants kind of day. The fraternity, interestingly enough, it was a group of guys that we only had local fraternities at this school because it was small, very small school, like 1,300 students, something like that, 1,400 at the time. And we wanted to make a national fraternity. The school wouldn't let us, so we fought. Finally, they said, no, absolutely no way. And so we decided, well, as long as we had this group of guys and we were kind of bonded by this adversity, might as well start a local fraternity and just try to make the best of it. And so it turned out to be a very interesting group of guys, not necessarily your traditional frat guys. It's more rabble-rousers and people that were really into shaking the system. And I remember I was part of the first pledging group, and so I helped write a lot of our pledging process. So, like, we made our pledges go to gay and lesbian alliance meetings, and we did quite a bit of community service. We really didn't want to have a legacy of meatheads and misogynists and racists and homophobes, which sometimes is the stereotype of fraternities. I have a feeling that from what I've heard, our organization evolved into much like the rest of the fraternities. What you gonna do? You do your best. For me, it was a great experience at the time, surprisingly so, and I have no lost feelings or pain knowing that it has now been, our archive has been revoked since I think we had drinking violations repeatedly. Good for us. We're rabble-rousers. That's what we stand for. We actually almost built into the charter the clause that every 4 years we had to disband and then consciously make a choice to reform the fraternity to try to keep it so we didn't become a stagnant traditional fraternity like we became, apparently. That being said, bros, I love you if any of you are watching this. I got the love, truth, diligence, scholarship, brotherly love. I'm all about that shit. All about it. One thing I probably shouldn't confess, but I will. One of the joys of being a part of that situation was creating a lot of the text, the ceremonies. We got to write we would study. My friend Eric and I, he was a religion major, creative religion major, and we studied like Catholic mass and all sorts of religious ceremonies and things and chanting and stuff like that. And then we tried to integrate that into our fraternity stuff because we were creating this whole new solemn experience. Of course, some of it wasn't so solemn. A lot of it, we created late at night while totally baked. And I remember if you ever called the fraternity house, the pledge had to answer the phone like, "Hello, due to the miracle of modern electronics and the genius of Alexander Graham Bell, you have been connected to the Phi Sigma Tau house. It would be a privilege, nay, an honor, to connect you to the..." Blah, 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 blah. They had this really long speech that they had to write. And it was classic. And so then what would happen was people would just call, and it would be so funny that they go, "Dude, call this number." And then people would be calling all day long, and our pledges were just like, "Dude." But that's what bonding's all about, isn't it? Humiliation and degradation? No, we didn't humiliate anyone. There was no elephant walks in our pledging process. No hazing. At worst, we had adversity to overcome, like the equivalent of a scavenger hunt that you had to do with your your pledges and trying to work together and get to know each other. But the frozen hot dog hiding, we did not do that. Or at least I would never admit to that. Or at least I would never admit to doing it by myself, even when the rest of the bros, weren't into it. Never mind.